Hey guys, it's Coach Rebecca. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so excited to have you guys here. I messaged you guys all earlier and posted in our group that I was gonna go live tonight instead of doing a video. And the reason I wanted to do that, you guys, is one, I'd love to see you guys hop on, comment, share ideas with me, give me your feedback on these cooking videos and demos and what you're liking, as well as I really want you guys to see that what I'm doing and the meals that I'm making truly are taking 30 minutes or less to make from start to finish, you guys. It's not video magic. I'm not editing stuff together. These meals truly can take 30 minutes or less, and they're gonna be healthy, nutritious meals that are gonna have a ton of taste, a ton of variety, and again, just flavor that your whole family is going to love. And of course, you know me, if I can secretly pack in some extra veggies that your family doesn't know about, I'm always gonna show you those tips and tricks to help make those meals even more nutritious and your family won't even know. So tonight we are making one of my favorites. In fact, I'll be honest with you, even my Sophie, my youngest, loves this recipe. I told her that we were making the fettuccine and she was like, which kind are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna do the new packet version fettuccine. And she was like, I love that one. So she's very excited about tonight's dinner. So it is a garden chicken fettuccine Alfredo. So I want to cover a bunch of stuff with you guys, but we're going to start to get cooking. But before we get cooking, I want to challenge you guys with a fun little game that we can play along as I'm cooking up tonight. Now, over the last couple days, I've commented or I've posted obviously the recipes. I've shared what ingredients and seasonings from the Epicure line have gone into some of those recipes. And to win, to get another entry or multiple entries, you can do this as many times as you want below in the comments. Post a comment with one of the seasonings that you've heard me mention or that you hear me use and mention tonight. So any product that I've mentioned from a seasoning packet standpoint that's helped me make up the last 2 nights of dinners, my lunch yesterday, and even anything that I mentioned tonight from a seasoning packet, comment below and it's gonna get you another entry for this week's grand giveaway, which is going to be the seasoning packets for 3 weeks of meals, you guys. It's like a $79 or an $80 value, and so I'm super excited to see who is going to win that. I'll be drawing the winner for that on Friday. All right, let's get cooking. So you guys saw in my picture earlier, the recipe is gonna have a bunch of different stuff in it. It's gonna have some broccoli in it. I am putting some spinach in it. I will be topping it later with some tomatoes, but I'm not cooking those up. We've got 2 different options that we're doing tonight. I personally am using those miracle noodles or konjac noodles that I used yesterday in my lunch. My family is going to do whole grain pasta, penne pasta. They didn't have a whole grain fettuccine noodle at the store, so we're just gonna use the penne noodles. Whole grain though is what they're gonna use. So again, you make your choice, you guys. There's tons of options when it comes to that. A lot of times we'll use zucchini noodles as our noodle for this. But again, tonight we're gonna use the konjac noodles for me, the penne whole grain noodles for my family. I just turned those on, so those are coming to a boil. Those whole grain noodles will take about 9 minutes, so they can cook while we're getting all the rest of the ingredients together. And you guys, because I'm not using the zucchini for noodles, I'm gonna chop this up, and this is also going to be one of the items that's in the garden portion of our garden fettuccine. So of course we need chicken too, right? We need some protein. We're gonna throw in protein. So let's do this. Let's start out by cutting up some of that chicken. So what we've got tonight is, again, veggie loaded, protein loaded fettuccine. I'm gonna start with just this one chicken breast. As you guys can see, it is humongous. I don't have my scale out right now, you guys. Normally I would weigh out my protein just so I know exactly how much. I'm just pulling you guys up here so that hopefully I can see you guys comment. Hey Cindy, thanks for jumping on and joining me. As you guys too, again, write down, I am gonna be using, again, chicken tonight. And you're gonna comment below with any of the seasoning packets or ingredients that I mentioned here tonight. So we are gonna actually season this chicken, you guys. Can you believe it? This chicken that I'm cutting up right now, which is our protein tonight, is going to go in to the steamer that I used the other day as well. And believe it or not, you guys, we're gonna be able to cook the vegetables and this chicken in the microwave, in this steamer, in under 10 minutes. 10 minutes, start to finish. The chicken's gonna be cooked through completely. The veggies will be ready to go. And by that point, when that's in there cooking, we're gonna work on the fettuccine sauce. So again, I'm just cutting the chicken up. You could put the chicken breasts in there whole as well. Your choice. I'm cutting them up because it's just gonna be easier for me once we get done cooking them through for me to combine the chicken and the vegetables together. So again, I'm just cutting those chicken pieces up. My guess here, guys, is I've got probably a total of about 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts here, okay? So again, just cutting those up quickly into smaller pieces, not super small, but smaller pieces. I'm gonna quick wash my hands. And then we're gonna sprinkle those with some seasoning. Now tonight with the chicken, I'm actually going to use SPG, which is actually simple as that, guys. It's salt, pepper, garlic, and then it's got some herbs in it. It's really delicious. I actually will put this a lot of times, again, on anything that's Italian. It's great for chicken. It's great for fish. It's just a nice little seasoning packet that's gonna add some additional flavor. So I'm gonna take that chicken and I'm gonna put it on the bottom of my steamer. And I'm gonna pop it in there now, and then I'm gonna sprinkle on the SPG seasoning. Now, something to think about, you guys, just so you know, all of these seasoning packets that I'm using through Epicure are super, super low in sodium. It's one of their staple values is that they're keeping any of their products, again, as natural as possible, no additives, no preservatives, and again, low sodium and low sugar. So, if you're a person who has a taste for some added salt, you're gonna want to add that in because it definitely is not in here. There's a little bit of sodium in the SPG seasoning. Again, it's got garlic salt in it, but just remember that if you are a person who really needs that extra bite of salt on your food, you're gonna wanna add that to taste after things are done cooking. So again, that SPG, I'm actually not even gonna measure. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. I'll show you what it looks like. I just sprinkled it right on the top of that chicken. So that is there. Oh, it smells so good, you guys. I love how herbs and ingredients smell. So boom, now what I just did is I took and I put my little tray liner here and sat it right on top of that chicken. This is where I'm gonna now put in the vegetables that we are gonna use in our garden chicken Alfredo. So who else jumped on with me? I'm gonna kind of try to continue to refresh. Thanks again for jumping on. I try to keep my eyes open for you guys and see who is joining us. I'm super excited about tonight's dinner. Again, totally 30 minutes or less. It'll probably take less than that for us to make our garden chicken fettuccine Alfredo, you guys. Again, for those who are just jumping on, I'll be using the miracle noodles, konjac noodles that we talked about yesterday at lunch. And then my family is going to use whole grain noodles. Those are cooking on the stove top right now because those take about 9 minutes or so to cook through. We just cut up my chicken breasts, about 2.5 pounds of chicken. So that's a lot of chicken. I'll probably have extra left over. We seasoned it with that SPG Epicure seasoning, which again is garlic, salt, pepper. It's got some additional herbs in here, you guys. It smells delicious. And again, it's perfect to go on potatoes, veggies, chicken, seafood, anything like that. All right, it's time to cut up the veggies so that we can get this into the microwave. So for the veggies, I'm just gonna cut up the broccoli. So I love broccoli, you guys. I could literally eat it every single day. It is so good for you. Of course, any green vegetable is good for you. But I don't know about you, but my kids and even my husband aren't necessarily ginormous fans of broccoli. So I am gonna cut it up in this particular recipe, small enough so that they wanna eat around it, they can. Little hint though, if you don't even want them to know, we're just gonna cut it down. You could pop it in your food processor and throw it in this recipe and they wouldn't even know that it's in there, guys. Outside of the little specks of green that they would see, they would have no clue. But we're gonna hide some other veggies, so we don't need to hide this one. So again, I'm just cutting this down, as you can see, just two smaller pieces. So not huge chunks, smaller bite-sized pieces. I've got probably about 3 cups total of the broccoli. And again, just chopping it down here. I may not even use this whole bowl that I pulled ahead of time. So all I'm doing right now, boom, cutting that up. Let's bring our little steamer that we're gonna use over, pop that in there. So what else are you guys cooking tonight for dinner? I'm interested, and I'm also super interested. We've covered 3 recipes so far, right? We've got that pulled chicken that we did last night. We did the taco burgers on Monday, and then now we're doing the fettuccine. So of these 3 recipes that we're covering so far this week, which one are you gonna try first when you get the seasoning mixtures? What are you gonna try first with your family and even for yourself to see what you like? All right, guys, now I'm gonna cut up that zucchini or summer squash, that yellow squash that we've got. And I'm just gonna cut it up thinner slices. Just so you know, that's about how thick I'm gonna cut it up. But to be honest with you, you could go even thicker. It will cook through completely during the 8 or 9 minutes that it's in the microwave. So boom. I've got just 1 squash here, 1 zucchini, so I'm just gonna cut it all up, throw it in there. All right. I love recipes that are super simple and quick. Today I was home a little bit more than I sometimes am, but again, I was up at about 3:30 this morning because I taught a 5 a.m. and a 6 a.m. workout class. And so by this time in the evening, I'm kind of exhausted and I'm ready to kind of kick back. So working on a huge meal that is gonna take me a ton of time is the last thing that I want to do. So when I can do a meal in under 30 seconds and literally just use 1 or 2 like a 2-pot meal, because we're gonna use 1 more pan for the Alfredo sauce. I love it, you guys. It makes it quick and simple, and I also know that my family is gonna love it as well. So I've got, again, about 3 cups of spinach here. I'm just gonna chop it down a little bit smaller. Again, when it comes to the palatability, I know that's a big word, right? So when it comes to your family trying new things, especially vegetables, I highly encourage that you cut them down small, super small. I just have found by experience that the smaller you cut down the vegetable, the easier it is. A lot of times people have a bigger challenge with texture than they do with flavor. So many vegetables, especially like squash, you guys, this really doesn't have any flavor. It's gonna take on whatever flavor I put with it. So, but whether it's squash or cauliflower or spinach, you guys, cut it down small, and I promise you, your family is so much more likely to be okay with it. And to be honest with you, probably not even really care that it's in there. They're gonna eat around it, or they'll just eat it because it's there and it's small enough that it's not really bothering them, all right? It's a little trick, but I'm telling you, I promise you, it will work, all right? So now we've got the squash, we've got broccoli, and we've got a little bit of spinach in there. I'm gonna take that same SPG seasoning that we put on the chicken that's underneath here, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this again over the top of those veggies, mix it in a little bit so that it gets on all of them. A little bit more, boom. You guys, in total, between the chicken and these veggies, I probably just used maybe a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons total of that SPG. All right, boom, wash the hands again. And guess what? step one of our meal is ready to go. I need to go do a little TV timeout. I'm just gonna walk over to my microwave. The lid is on now, covering everything. It's completely sealed, and I'm gonna put it in the microwave for 9 minutes. I'm gonna be right back, and we're gonna whip up this Alfredo sauce so that we are gonna be ready to go. All right, guys, be right back. All right, guys, 9 minutes I just set it for. So the question is, can we get this Alfredo sauce ready to go in the 9 minutes that it's gonna take for that chicken and veggies to get ready to go so that, boom, we're ready for dinner for everybody to eat. I know we can do it. All right, let me give a little quick stir. Those penne noodles that I threw in earlier are actually cooked and ready to go. So I'm just gonna turn those off and let those sit there. I'll strain them here in a minute. So I've got a secret ingredient that's gonna go into this Alfredo. You do not have to do this, but again, I'm all about finding ways to hide vegetables and added nutrients into every single meal that I feed my family. And so my quick and easy little sneaky veggie, you guys know I love it. It's riced cauliflower. Now, I've cooked this, so it is completely cooked through. What I'm gonna do with it is, quickly before we start to make our sauce, is I'm gonna take that riced cauliflower, and I'm gonna take 2 cups of it. I'm gonna put it in my Ninja blender, and I'm gonna grind it down to a puree. So it's gonna almost be the consistency of a cauliflower mash, because then it's gonna add some even better creaminess to our Alfredo, you guys. All right, so boom, there we go. I'm gonna put just 1 little quick tablespoon of almond milk in there. I'll be right back. Let's get this to a creamy consistency so that we can add it in and vegify our Alfredo, you guys. It is so good this way. All right, that took a little longer than I thought, but you guys, I asked you the other day what kind of tools you had in the kitchen that you used all the time. I asked you if you had a crock pot, an Instapot, or an air fryer, and I'm gonna tell you, my Ninja, which is a blender, a food processor, I got a little mini blender here. You guys, I probably use this more than I use anything else. I use it every single day. So you can see I pureed that down. It's literally like a mashed potato consistency. There's zero texture to it, you guys. So it's just gonna add that creaminess to this Alfredo sauce. And again, added vegetables, added nutrients, and your family will not even know that it's in there. All right, I bet you we've got about 4 minutes left. We need to get this Alfredo sauce going. All you need is your Alfredo package here. And while I'm pouring this into my pan, you guys, I'll read you some of the ingredients. So I'm just gonna pour this Alfredo mixture right in there in the package. So this Alfredo sauce, you guys, has cheddar cheese flavoring. It's got cheese cultures. It's got salt. It has buttermilk. It has a little bit of sodium. It's got some cornstarch in there. It has got garlic powder in there. It has got mustard flour in there. And that is it, my friends. So everything, you knew all those ingredients, right? So what does that mean? That means that it's got Rebecca's stamp of approval or check of approval that it is something that you should be eating. If you know all of the ingredients, then that is a thumbs up in my book. All right, so you saw while I was reading those ingredients, you got your packet, you got a cup and a half of almond milk. You can use regular milk. I just don't personally use regular milk here in my house. And then I'm also gonna put that 2 cups of cauliflower puree right in there as well. All right, I'm going over to the stove top. Let's turn this on. We're gonna bring it to temp, you guys. Hopefully you can see me. In fact, I'm gonna flip-flop my noodles here. So we're gonna bring this to temp, you guys. And then we're just gonna let it simmer so that it thickens. Now, this is one thing you do need to do when it comes to this Alfredo, is you really need to be whisking it and paying attention to it to make sure that the milk doesn't burn on the bottom of your pan, right? Because we don't want it to burn. So I'm just gonna continue to stir it here. I'll let it warm up a little bit there. And in the meantime, I'm gonna rinse my noodles. I see Cindy, I got Cindy Allen, Cindy Rice on, Cindy Smith is on. Thanks for joining me, ladies. Hey, Cindy Smith, what are you having for dinner tonight? We are whipping up that veggie-loaded garden chicken Alfredo, you guys. And we're almost done. I need to go check in a second, see how much longer we have. Boom, my family's whole wheat pasta is ready to go, you guys. This is my cool strainer. If you guys don't have one of these, I'm gonna quick show it to you. I have a smaller one, but this is the most awesome tool. I love it because it just packs away so easily. If you guys don't have one of these, you need to get them. I've got this size and I've got the larger one, which I'm using right now. So good, you guys. All right, so the Cindy's are on with me. Thanks for joining me, ladies. So excited for you guys to try out this recipe. Again, it's probably been about 15 minutes or so. I don't know what my timing is right now. Oh, we're at 20 minutes, you guys. And I promised you dinner in 30 minutes or less. So I need to deliver on that. While I'm finishing up, I'm waiting for that microwave to beep at me. We're gonna also do my noodles. I'm gonna strain those in my smaller strainer because I am using those konjac noodles. Does any other mom out there get frustrated that they're constantly feeling like they need to make multiple meals or separate meals for the different people in their families? You guys, I did that for so many years and I needed to put my mom foot down eventually because I was so tired all the time making multiple different things for different people. Listen, you either eat what I give you or make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I am not making 2-3 different meals. It's craziness, people. It's craziness. All right, I don't want to neglect that Alfredo, right? I don't want to neglect it because we want to make sure it doesn't burn. It's cooking up, it's starting to boil. And if you missed the secret ingredient, you guys, I threw some cauliflower puree in here. It is gonna be absolutely yummy. Now, again, this Alfredo sauce has tons of great ingredients in it, including some garlic salt. But if you wanted to add some additional flavor, you could always add a little bit more sodium or salt from a salt shaker or a salt grinder. You could also throw on some of that SPG in there. It's just gonna, again, add a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt, a little bit of herbs and pepper. So that's another great option to add a little bit more flavor into that Alfredo sauce. All right, I don't wanna avoid it. You guys, it's thickening up, so I'm gonna let that boil just a second longer. Did you hear the beep? The beep just went off. It's been 9 minutes since we put the chicken and vegetables in. Let's take it out and see if they're done. All right, the steam is rolling out of it. The vegetables look good. The vegetables look really cooked and ready to go. All right, let's lift up without making a huge mess. Let's see how this chicken is looking. I'm gonna cut a piece and see. Oh, we gotta put it in there maybe for about a minute longer, you guys. I'm gonna actually leave the veggies out. I'm gonna stick this back in for 2 more minutes and that chicken is gonna be ready to go. All right, and perfect timing for me to get over here and stir up my Alfredo, you guys. It's so hard to see, but I'm gonna try and show you. It is thickening up. If you can see that, it's got a nice thick consistency. Now, I'm gonna turn the temp down just a little bit on that. Let it continue to thicken up while we're waiting those couple of extra minutes for that chicken. And then, you know what? I'm gonna grab a bowl because I want to be able to put the chicken and the vegetables and the pasta all together so you guys can see it in one piece. Now, if you've got questions, guys, please comment below, let me know. And again, if you're watching this on a replay, I want you to drop me a 2. If you're watching it live, drop me a 1 right now in the comments. And again, play along with me, you guys. I mentioned earlier that if you comment below with any of the products that I referenced tonight, the Alfredo's seasoning packet, the SPG seasoning packet, the Epicure steamer that I'm using to cook in, you comment below with any of those items and you're gonna get an extra entry in to win our week 1 giveaway, which is that 3-week seasoning packet, guys, for 15 meals that you can make for your family, and I know you guys are gonna love it. All right, so that's going. Let me give a couple more quick stirs. And guys, we are almost ready for dinner. All right, it's really bubbling, so I'm gonna take it off the heat for a second. Let me grab a bowl. I'm gonna make my family's first. Now, you guys heard me say this yesterday, at least in one video. You'll probably hear me say it 1,000 different times. When it comes to vegetables, I don't really ever measure anything because you can eat so many vegetables, true vegetables, not root-based vegetables, but true vegetables, broccoli, squash, anything like that. You can't overeat veggies, all right? That's the truth. But you can and very easily will overeat grains, carbohydrates, pastas. So I always will measure my servings when it comes to pasta. That was a 1 cup serving. It filled up that bowl, you guys, and it's gonna be absolutely perfect. Now I'm gonna throw a little bit of that broccoli, squash, and spinach on there. Boom. I'm waiting for the chicken, so we're gonna go check on that here in just a second. And then we're gonna top it with this yummy Alfredo sauce. It smells so good, you guys. All right. There's the chicken. So again, guys, normally about 5 4-ounce pieces of protein. So you're looking at like about a pound, a little bit more than a pound of protein will cook within 8 minutes here within the steamer, even if it's got veggies in there and it's sharing space and time. But I had literally, guys, 2.5 pounds in here. So that's one of the reasons it probably took a little bit longer. I'm gonna pull out that chicken, you guys. It smells so good. And I'm gonna cut it to a little bit smaller pieces. It is perfectly ready to go, all right? So I'm just cutting it into bite-sized pieces. So total, guys, how long was that for the chicken and vegetables in the microwave, once we got it in there, was probably a total of, 8 minutes plus 3, so about 11 minutes. And again, that was because I had about 2.5 pounds of protein in there versus normally just having that handful, okay? So boom. I'm gonna cut up about 4 ounces of protein here. Now 4 to 6 ounces, guys, of protein is the perfect amount of protein for you to have for a meal. You don't need to have 8 ounces, 12 ounces of protein, people. It's just not necessary. Your body can't process that correctly anyhow. So, all right, veggies, grain, through those whole grain, through those noodles. We've got veggies, we've got chicken. Now for the piece de resistance, we need some of that sauce. I'm gonna use my little cup here to help me pour it on. I'm using this is about a 1/4 cup of our Alfredo sauce. I put it right there on the top. Guess what? Dinner is served. And I'm looking at my timer here. What do we got? How long have we been on? 30 minutes for sure, or less. I promise you that much. Dinner is served. In fact, hold on. I know my family, and they're for sure gonna want a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano on here. So let's finish that off with a little sprinkle of that Parmesan. And again, boom, we're ready to go. The family's asking me, is it ready? Are you done with the video? Yes, I am done with you, friends. It's time for me to say goodbye for the night and go have dinner with my family. Hopefully you're getting the chance to enjoy dinner with your family as well. Again, make sure, watch the video from the beginning, see all the special ingredients that I put in today, as well as get your entries in by commenting below with any of the products that I've used over the last 3 days, whether it was in our turkey taco burgers, if it was in our yesterday's meal, which was that pulled chicken, if it was the stir fry. Just a hint, I'm dropping some of these names. That stir fry that we made, we used nacho cheese seasoning. We used all sorts of seasonings, so look back and then comment below with those seasonings so you can get entered to win that grand prize for week 1, that 3-week seasoning packet to make 15 meals for your family. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Oh wait, hold on. You guys know how I roll. I need to take a bite before I let you leave. Grab that extra fork. I gotta get some chicken, broccoli, and even a whole wheat noodle. And of course, I gotta make sure there's sauce. So good, you guys. And don't tell them, there's cauliflower in the sauce. So good. All right, guys, as always, I am out of here and I sign off by saying, love ya.